Hey Tim, you mentioned in the presentation that there was a trend over the whole series that you're outplayed by India. Is that the most frustrating part of today? That it's something that's happened sort of previously in this series that you haven't been able to arrest?
Um, oh yeah, like I said, we're absolutely disappointed. Um, yeah, I think it happened throughout. Even if you went right back to Adelaide, whether it was with bat, ball, or field, every time we had a chance to go ahead of the game, we let it slip. Um, happened a little bit in Sydney, obviously, with our with our fielding, um, and then probably yesterday a bit with our batting. We continually lost wickets when we were trying to put the foot down and couldn't quite get a partnership together. And I thought every time India needed to do that or needed a wicket, someone managed to do it for them. So again, you just got to give them credit. I think they won the key moments. Just said then to JL, like we turned up to Sydney on day 5 and the Gabba on day 5 in as good a position as you would want to be in, I reckon, and couldn't get the job done. So yeah, there's some things that we should have and could have done better. At the same time, I thought India their batting group were amazing in both those day 5s.
Chris Barrett.
Oh, Tim, a series result with this, usually brings with it, it's scrutiny on the captain and the team itself. I mean, have you thought at all about your own future as captain?
No, not at the moment, mate, to be honest. I came here today, like I said, to try and win a test match. Still looking forward to going to South Africa, big series there. We've got had a goal to make this test championship final. I think that's still achievable. So that's a big focus for us and for me in this group.
Is the weight of the captaincy plus the batting and wicket keeping, sometimes overbearing? Adam Gilchrist was suggesting on the commentary that that it might be too much at times.
No, I don't think so, mate. I think, like I said, I had a pretty ordinary day in Sydney. I copped that on the chin. I think, as a sportsman, you have more bad days than good days. Batting and wicket keeping are pretty similar like that. So, it doesn't always go your way in cricket and in life. So for me, it's about soldiering on. I've said a few times, I still feel like I have improvement in me. I still feel like I want to get better. I certainly want to keep leading this team. As I said, we've got some unfinished business and something that we set out to achieve as a group. So I intend to finish that.
Dan Breddy.
G'day, Tim. Is it fair to sort of draw a bit of a contrast between, I guess, the amount of planning and intricate work that went into, say, trying to find a way to win in England in 2019, and when you play in Australia, you tend to, you think there's a tried and trusted formula that works for Australian teams in Australia, and you don't really depart from that or, try too many different things?
Yeah, I think so. I think, we still do the same amount of planning against our opposition. Venues in Australia can be very different from venue to venue. Again, I think, everyone's got a great plan for opposition, but I think India just managed to play better than us. They managed to get through our plans for longer than we managed to get through theirs. That was basically, particularly in the key moments. So that we planned, as I said, we turned up to Sydney on day 5 in a very good position to win that test match, and we turned up here at the Gabba on day 5 in a very good position to win this test match and couldn't get the job done. So I'm not sure whether the wickets, with the lack of cricket they've had, I'm not sure that certainly Sydney didn't do as much as we thought it would do on day 5. And then even today, I thought that wicket was really going to open up and there'd be cracks in it everywhere and balls would be flying, but it didn't happen as much as we thought it would. But again, I mean, India's batters turned up and wore it on the body and toughed it out and kept soldiering on, and then took the game away from us late. So you've got to give them credit for that.
And Tim, just in terms of the amount of, I suppose, turnover in the Indian side and, the volume of players you're playing who you might not have expected to face at the start of the series, I mean, how do you think that altered the dynamic of the series? And would you have thought you'd perform better if you're facing such an inexperienced opponent at times?
Well, again, I think, their guys came in and played their job, played their roles, and that's what you expect of anyone. Whether they're big name players or not. I think they showed they've got some real depth and some real skill, some very skillful bowlers and some very skillful batters. And as I said, I just think they outplayed us. I don't think we took them lightly or thought we were going to roll them over. They're a very proud cricket country, and as I said, they've got a huge population and a lot of skillful players to pick from. And they played bloody well. As I said, they toughed it out. They were disciplined. And the guys who came in and played a role.
Thank you.
Andrew Wu.
Yeah, good day, Tim. Just a follow-up on Chris Barrett's question. You mentioned how you've got aspirations to go through to the World Test Championship final, because that's been a long-term goal for you and the team. I mean, do you have aspirations to lead the team in the Ashes as well next season?
Look, I've said many times in the last 2 or 3 years, mate, that I don't look past the next series. I'm 36 years old. Like I said, I'm loving doing my job. It's a difficult job, and at times like this, it can be bloody hard work when you're copying it left, right, and centre. But that's what I signed up for. I didn't play my best cricket at times in this series, but that can happen. As I said, I'll go away. I'll look to get better, look to improve certain parts of my game for the next series, and again, I won't be looking past that series.
You enjoying the job right now?
I'm loving it, mate. Look, I'm going to cop heaps of flack. I know that. I've been absolutely belted by the Indians for about 7 days. It's been interesting, but again, I knew that's part of the course with this job. There's people out there that get paid to critique the game and critique my performance as a player and as a captain, and I'm totally fine with that. I don't sit at home and think I've done a brilliant job every day I get home. I'm very honest with myself. I know when I make mistakes, and I try and get better the next time I go out and play. So, I am enjoying it. This has certainly been slightly different for me in the last 2 weeks, with lots of probably criticism coming my way, and I think in the past it probably hasn't come my way. But like I said, that's part of the course, and international cricket is a big boy business, and you've got to have very, very thick skin. And like I said, I'm enjoying it.
Thanks, Tim.
Braden.
Tim, do you think too much was asked of the same core bowling group throughout the series to back up and continue to play? I know there was a gap between the second and third test matches, but just the fatigue across the 4 matches of the series, and also with some of those players that obviously come back from the IPL, etc.
No, I think, look, those 4 bowlers were ready to go. There's no doubt about that. That certainly they won't be, and I won't be using that as an excuse. They're seasoned bowlers. They've got through series. This isn't the first time they've played a 4-test series. They've got through, I think, 5 in Australia in an Ashes tour that I played in here 3 or 4 years ago. So, look, we're really lucky that we've got such durable fast bowlers. As I said, probably had we held our catches in Sydney, they wouldn't have had to bowl the overs they did have. But look, I thought they did a tremendous job throughout the whole series. They created chances. I think we could have scored more runs and given them more scoreboard pressure on oppositions at times. But as I said, there's plenty of things we can get better at. But those guys are a credit to themselves and our team. And, we'll play them as long as they say they're fit to go. And, they said they were, and we backed them in.
You mentioned the flack that you're preparing to cop, and obviously some of the players in the group are probably going to come in for that as well. What was your message to the group, and especially there's quite a few younger players in the squad, how they handle this going forward?
We haven't spoken yet as a group. Obviously, we had the presentation, and then I'm in here. But look, it's funny, isn't it? I think I've said it before. It's the Alistair Clarkson quote I heard many years ago: is it's never as bad as you think, and it's never as good as you think. And I think in this series we probably had both of those. We walked away from Adelaide with everyone saying we were awesome, and we were pretty ordinary for most of that test match, except for an hour. And then we've had, the last 2 test matches, we've absolutely copped it for being awful. But as I said, we walked into day 5 on both those test matches in great positions and did a lot of good things. So, we've got to keep perspective on it. We've been outplayed. We had our chances to win this series and to win this test match, and we didn't take them. But my message to our players will be that we've got another opportunity in in a month or so's time, and international cricket is absolutely tough. It's a bloody tough sport. It's brutal, and you're going to cop flack, and that's part of it. But we're in a really privileged position to be able to cop that flack. So at times it can weigh, I suppose, younger players down. But I think at the end of the day, it's a real positive that you're in the position that you're in, and you're going to have plenty of critics, plenty of armchair critics, but they're not out there doing it where the guys are out there doing it. And we're giving our all for our country to win every time. So that'll be my message to our boys, is we learn from our errors and our mistakes in this series, and we look to get better in the next one.
Two more, folks. We'll go to Ben Horn and finish off with John Pierce.
Tim, just following up on the bowlers, with Mitchell Starc, firstly, was he hampered by injury today and what he could do today? And secondly, he probably didn't have his best series, what we're used to seeing from Mitchell. Is there something you'd put that down to? Was he lacking confidence, or was there anything there you noticed?
Yeah, I'm not sure about his body. I think there might be a few little things going on, but again, I think that's par for the course for those guys. There's always something going on with their bodies. They're very rarely 100%. So again, we're very lucky that they're so durable and can get through so many test matches for us. And again, I think Starkey's someone who, the way he bowls, he's going to come in for some criticism. He's, when he's on, he is one of the great bowlers you'll see. And at times he doesn't quite get it right. And when that's the case, it doesn't look great. But again, Mitchell Starc's done an amazing job for our test team over a long period of time, and he will continue to do so.
John Perry.
Oh, hi, Tim. Was there something perhaps you saw behind the stumps that you saw that allowed the Indians to play Nathan Lyon so well?
No, I think they grow up playing spin, don't they? I mean, that's what Indian teams are famous for. I think Rishabh in particular, he's so skillful that, he can hit the ball absolutely everywhere from any line or length. So, but again, I thought today Lino created plenty of chances. Close LBW shout early that goes his way, and Lino's that sort of bowler. He can get on an absolute roll. So, look, again, I thought Lino was fantastic for us this series. He bowled his heart out, and at times we let him down in the field, and at times balls just didn't quite go his way. They didn't quite go to hand. But again, Nathan Lyon's been an absolute champion of Australian cricket. He's bowling well. He's creating chances for us in every test match. And again, I think he's someone that it will, bounce back in South Africa. As I said, we're going to go through tough times as a team, and this is going to be one of them. But I think how you be judged is how you bounce back. And again, I think we'll be all looking forward to doing that in South Africa.
Have you got a departure date for that trip yet, or?
No, not at the moment. Hopefully, we'll have one soon.
Thanks.
Thanks, guys, and thanks to Tim Paine. We'll catch all you guys next time. Thank you.
Thanks, Tim. Thanks, Colt.
Thanks, Tim.